Cathal, somebody once complimented Eddie Butcher on his fine abattoir of songs.
Lovely turn.
Cathal Baoill has a simmering cauldron of ballads. Could you tell us how this was amassed?
Well, around about when I was 11, I think it was about that age anyway, around about early in the 1950s, my father started collecting songs with Peter Kennedy around South Armagh, down and so on. And all the time, anytime they'd finished with a day's recording, they'd bring this huge big thing about the size of a sofa. It was a ferrograph, it was called, and they'd play back for us the songs that they had collected that day. And it was pure magic. In those days, of course, they hadn't invented television, so a sound coming out of a big box was magic. So all of them, you just automatically learn them because you learned them, you heard them. Since I have, as on the special occasion of Ash Wednesday, dressed myself up with the sign of my great holiness, I have been asked by an enemy to sing a couple of verses of Pater O'Flynn. This is Father O'Flynn in Latin. If you don't like the Latin, too bad. Here we go. O clerici absent diversus litoribus, omnes qui semper insinuus ut moribus, quisque verissibus, omnis coinoribus, Flinius omnibus ferior stat, radicet bernica gaudet O'Flynn, ut omnibus patet persuum nomen, ex quoum minoribus parochialibus, antiquioribus presterat, multus adanus carissima Flynn, omni virtute doctissime, Arthur optime documentissime, donigolissime Pater O'Flynn.
I remember a story that your brother Manus told me about your dad getting a phone call from somebody saying, Sean, would you come and collect this song, as if it was all wrapped up in tissue paper, waiting to be taken. So do you have to prize them out of some people's hands, or
some people are very, very, I would say, some people are very bad about their songs. If my brother Colin was to sing the Maid of Balladoo, I wouldn't hit him. Because that just shows what a nice man I had. But I sing the Maid of Balladoo, that's my song. Go sing you something else, why don't you sing the Flower of Maharaj, that's your song. But let's, I don't know. Some people are very, very bad about them and they would sulk for weeks. I think this is just a case of not so much a valiant knight. It's more of an apprentice weaver just taking advantage of a poor girl that should have known better. Anyway, it was on a summer's morning, all in the month of May, down by yon shady arbour I carelessly did stray. It was there I spied a pretty fair maid, most pleasant to my view, and the title that she gave herself was the Maid of Balladoo. Well, the words of the song are in Gaelic, and I stole them from Henry O'Murgus' Gachiad the Cheltiolo, and it's the first in the book, and there's quite a length of Gaelic in it, so I took the first 4 verses and made verse 11 into a chorus. I made the tune. If you don't like it, you can blame me. It'll start on E. Here we go. Throw my hurls home here, cut ye van and vin viclear, either true pure than meow ger. Garma helmas born the fur is a hat that a hedgerin. I think if you get a young person, a comparatively young person, anybody who's less than 80, singing a song, they've got what they do is they actually listen. And then they say, no, that can't be, that's not. Now this is what happened to me. There's a song about a patching still. And I have been singing for years because the way the man sang it that I heard singing was Joe Float Brannigan. And he says, her checks has gained her credit in many a foreign shore. So I was always singing, and her checks has gained her credit upon many. And then a young lady from around Hilltown says, not at all, it can't be her. It's the blackboard. He should be saying her chicks. Well, of course I should have been saying chicks. And please God, I will sing chicks if I remember, But these songs are songs of courtship. Not all sort of amour courtois, but at least songs of courtship. The first of them is about the flower Maharali. Now, my grandfather sang the song The Flower Maharali, but my father was the first one to put down this particular tune. That's my grandfather's tune. It had already been in the book called The Irish Street Ballads and a couple of other places, but this particular tune is special to my grandfather, and I'm very fond of it. One pleasant summer's morning, when all the flowers were springing, oh, nature was adorning, and the wee birds sweetly singing, oh, I met my love near Banbridge town, my charming blue-eyed Sally, oh, she's the queen of the county down, and the flower Maharali, oh.
Well, has the 21st century and the evolution of the attention span to basically zero put paid to the long ballad, do you think?
I think probably. But I mean, if you're in the company of a good singer, and he decides he's going to sing something with 14 verses, you listen. Because it's a different kind of an experience, you know.
That's true.
These days, the modern pop song will give you 1.5 lines. They shout it a bit louder and say it a bit quieter, but it's only 1.5 lines altogether. There's no story to it, you know. I love you, baby, baby, I love you, baby, I love you, baby, you know.
Yeah.
Marylin is a wee town on the road from Lurgan to Lisburn, or at least it used to be before they built the M1. When I was going to Belfast, you went round through Marylin. Now you can't. Anyway, at the bottom of Marylin, at the McMain end of it, there is a bend of the River Lagan, which is referred to in the song as a spacious harbour. Oh, it is a famous city in the perennial ancient style. It's a credit to the county down and the pride of the Emerald Isle. It has a famous harbour for the bread carts to sail in, and if ever you go to Ireland, you'll sail through Macharalin.
Now, you're one of a large clan who all contribute to the preservation of the folk song. Was it your father who started the ball rolling, or does it go back a wee bit further?
Well, it goes back at least to my grandfather, who sang, I remember him singing The Dark-Eyed Gypsies and The Flower Maharali. He sang The Flower Maharali, and that's in that collection now. So, oh yeah, it went back that far. Now, where he got them, I do not know, but I know that that's where I got them.
Yeah. Would it be controversial to suggest that maybe your mother was as good a raconteur as your dad?
What would be totally uncontroversial was that if my mother was in the room when I was singing, if I forgot the words of any song anywhere, and then it came, whereupon you always with the word, and Nora does the same job. I mean, she's better than a book, because she remembers what the next verse is going to be. This song is called Porter for Me Tay, and it's to do with the vagaries of the licensing laws. Come all who toil on Ireland's soil, a story I'll convey. When I was young and full of fun, I worked for Macaulay. I ploughed his field and I sowed his seed, and I reaped his corn and hay. And with John McCann as a working man, I drank porter for me tay.
How can we preserve Cathal Baoill's collection into the future, apart from putting it on a dusty shelf?
Well, I can tell you something that is stronger than putting on a dusty shelf. I was singing to my family at dinner. I was just singing because I wanted to sing, and my singing career came to a sudden stop because one of my children on the right hand side, I will not name the young lady, who said, "Wayne, Wayne, Wayne." She was only expressing her feeling for her father's singing.
Oh, yes.
That stopped me.
Yeah.
If your audience wishes to hear, you'll continue to sing. If your audience says, "Wayne, Wayne, Wayne," you will not sing. No. And that stopped it. The former enemies, well, the problem was more or less the same. Okay, now we start. You may talk about your King's Guards, Scots, Greys and all. You may talk about your Kilties and your gallant 42, or any other regiment under the King's command, but the South Down Militia is the terror of the land. You have heard of Julius Caesar and the great Napoleon too, and all the other famous men that fought at Waterloo. But if you read your history, you will quickly understand that the South Down Militia is the terror of the land. When the Kaiser heard the regiment had landed down in France, in wild despair he tore his hair, we haven't an effing chance. When the Germans seen us coming, they threw down their guns and ran, for the South Down Militia is the terror of the land. It was at the Royal Jubilee in the year of 72. The Queen and the Royal Prince was there inspecting the great tattoo. Hey, Major Wallace, says the Queen, them boys of yours look grand. Hold your tongue, says Wallace, them's the terror of the land. And in this song we have the first good example of sectarian coat trailing. What you used to do when you went to a market or a fair, if you were feeling like you're having a fight, and you usually did after you had a few jars, what you did was you walked down the street with your coat off and you trailed it after you. And the idea was anybody who thought he was tough could stand on your coat. And once he stood on your coat, that was an invitation to fight, and away you went. You fought. So the fashion of fighting at fairs and such, it's even mentioned in the song. You notice that the Orange Men were ready to fight. Anyway, here we go. On the 12th of July last, Alsgary Abbey town we passed, to Kirkcobin where we did assemble. The rebels they did pray for a curse on us that day, and their hearts within them did tremble. As we passed down Shuttle Row, that's a rebel place, you know, thinking we were useless lumber, they swore they'd break our drum if we up to them did come, but we're the bright orange heroes of Cumber. This song is about Moygannon Stream, which runs into Carlingford Lough, somewhere between Warren Point and Rostrevor. Now, I met this place when I went to buy a tree for a daughter of mine. I didn't see any sign of any of the things that are mentioned in this, but maybe it's because the time for those things have passed. You'll understand what I mean in a minute. I remember the young days, for younger I've been. I remember the young days around Moygannon Stream. It's not marked on your world map, no place to be seen, that wee river in Ulster, the Moygannon Stream. It flows under bridges, takes many's the bend, by the sand and Conrooney's its way it does wend. But since myxomatosis no rabbits are seen, but you'll still cap a salmon in the Moygannon Stream. Their early spuds thrive there, their early lambs too, and their deep little hens never see the sky blue. They have fine dairy hows there, you never have seen. It's the best to sweet milk there at the Moygannon Stream. Now last but not least is the caravan sight, with the trains, trams and buses, and the field called the Stripe. It's nice to sunbathe there, where the soft breezes blow, and the girls are all shapely like Marilyn Monroe. This is a song well known in Donegal. We heard it from Paddy Hudi, and the story of it is not entirely clear. I will explain it to you, and it'll become no clearer when I finish explaining. This man is on his way to Dublin. That's where it starts. Because he's looking for a cure for his wife that's at home in the bed. She's not well. On his way to Dublin, he meets this beautiful girl. And he's greatly attracted to her. And she asks him, how is your wife? Which is a reasonable thing. And he says, she's not well at all. She's in a very poor state. and it becomes clear-ish that this girl who he's talking to is really a kind of an image of his wife. But she has suffered what is called a nimmerkus. The wife has. She has been taken over by the fairies. You know the way a child will be stolen by the fairies and you'll be left with some jail instead. Well, that has happened to his wife. Clear so far. Right. Well, the rest of it, you finish the story because it's up to you to finish it. It doesn't, that's the story. This is the song. Oh, it's translated into something like English.
Magal go Baoill clíadú an chéadla den chatting.
On my going to Hurdleford to me, on the first day of the seven some.
Harle callin ógaram, a dog me mór chandi is new.
A young girl happened upon me, that I give her great delight and pleasure.
Tipper me englor hundi, ca gonian to a hargroon.
I asked her in a quiet voice, where dwellst thou, my secret love?
I do a fine temolostin, es might conly lefwade.
In North Munster is my lodgings, and my dwelling place for a long time.
Kestjogum hen ortos to his journey at Daga Baoill.
A question is at me on you, since it's you that last that left the home place.
Kejemmer ted de chile, no an feidir go marin.
How is your missus, or is it possible that she is lasting?
Or a tashi chinchirilag, weires nelyapa.
Well, she's sicky bad, not well at all, in the fever of the bedstead.
Agus mi sé chiri raihe agnilyaive mo chrachu.
And myself for 3/4 rings, I'm tortured by the surgeons. Well, thank you very much for listening to all that. It was great fun for somebody to come and take the much younger Cathal Baoill out of the bin and make him sing again. Great fun, especially singing again that daft song in Gaelic with Manus. Great fun to sing that again. The songs I got them from people around here. They're not mine. They're in the book, but putting them in the book doesn't make them sacred scripture. If the word doesn't suit you, change it, fix it. The word I sang in that last song was use. People always say use for the plural of you. You can't do it grammatically in English, but we just do it all the time. If you don't like the words as they are, take them out, change them, fix them. Nobody's going to criticise you. And if you kept wee bits of bandy in the middle of the tune, well, you saw fine examples of that. Have a good time.